think that New Year's resolutions can be a little bit like toxic, I suppose, a little bit negative almost, which is why a lot of times they're so hard to stick to. So these ones I hope are a little more positive, so a little easier to stick to. And again, not again, I haven't said this yet, I don't personally really do a snail. Go look at those ants. Yeah. Goal number 6. Goal number 6. Try a new recipe. And you can kind of set a time frame goal by maybe try a new recipe once every 2 weeks, or you could even just do once every month if that's more realistic. Once every month or once a week. You can kind of set your own time frame. I did this a couple months ago as a goal to try at least 5 new recipes that month. Or maybe not 5. I did that a couple months ago as a goal to try a few new recipes. And from that I made borscht for the first time. Borscht. And it was really good. I made these chickpea, like tuna wraps, but just with chickpeas. And those were really good. And I also made a coconut curry squash bisque. Coconut curry squash bisque. And they were all super delicious recipes, and yeah, it was really fun to try some new recipes out that I hadn't made before. Goal number 7 is go to bed with a clean kitchen and all the dishes done. This is something I do not think is realistic for a whole year, but maybe you could do it as a weekly challenge, or you could do it just on, like, if your work week starts on Mondays, to do it on Sunday night to kind of give a better start to your work week. Sure. This is a little challenge I set for myself every now and then when I really am slacking on this front. I think I kind of need to do this challenge for myself now. But yeah, you could even just do it as a week thing to kind of try to kickstart the habit. Because I feel like in the morning when I have a clean kitchen to go into, to like make my tea and stuff, I'm probably just gonna have a nicer morning. Number 8 is stretch more. Again, this is kind of another thing that you can set your own goals timeline wise. Maybe if you're more ambitious, you could do stretch 3 times a week for 15 minutes. Or you could do just stretch once a week for 30 minutes or 10 minutes. I think it is really helpful to kind of set those time goals to make sure. I find it a little easier to hold myself accountable when I make a very realistic limit like that. Like, I'm gonna stretch 3 times this week for 20 minutes each time. Yeah, you can even look at, there's tons of YouTube videos or stretch with me videos. Or you could just focus on a specific stretch. Maybe you want to try to touch your toes, or maybe you just want to work on like stretching out your spine, just like reaching up and bending over, reaching up, or working on your downward dog. Yeah, there's tons of options there, and I find stretching can be amazing to help kind of have some awareness of how your body is feeling and get looseness, etc. And I know stretching looks different for everybody. Maybe it's just even or, you know, paint a picture frame, or rearrange your pictures on your wall, or move around some stuff in your house, or try to do a little dance or something. Yeah, this doesn't have to be huge, and it could be absolute trash. Absolute trash. If I were to try to write a poem, I'm sure it would be absolute trash. But it can be fun to try to make something creative. Yeah, I kind of talked about that in my main ASMR whisper ramble, but I'm super glad that that is a goal I started doing for myself. because if you don't know how you're feeling, you won't be able to communicate that to others and have productive conversations about feelings in relationships. So I think that's a good one, is just trying to take a moment to pause when you're feeling a strong emotion, and just try to name what it is, because that can be way harder than it sounds. Way harder than it sounds. Way harder than it sounds. So that's just kind of a way to start trying to be a better communicator. And an important part of that is try to name your feelings without judging them. Without judging them. Because if you're judging yourself in that process, you are not going to make too much positive progress. Understand that it's hard to do. Goal number 19. This is something I learned just recently that I think is really good, and it has to do with being more patient with others. And I think it's something super applicable, especially if you work in service or you work with people, which is if someone says something rude to you that kind of upsets you, don't lash out back. Just ask them to repeat themselves. Like you didn't hear, just be like, pardon me, can you repeat that please? And basically then they'll have to rethink what they just said and either realize that they were rude and hopefully change what they say, or apologize. Or if, they say the same thing again, well, then they know they're trying to be rude and they're the one who looks bad, though. It's all on them because you can't control what they say, but yeah, I think that was a good way to kind of not lash out or be vindictive, but hopefully kind of stand up for yourself, but not be rude in return. Okay, so goal number 20 is try to use less gendered language. This is something I've been working on, to kind of switch your default pronouns to they and them. Like when you're talking about others, unless you know their